Welcome to the Black Gay History Channel. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel for more captivating content. During the 1930s, North America would suffer a great financial depression after the stock market crash in 1929, and the 1930s in American history is seen as a somewhat dark age compared to the flashy, extravagant glamour that came from the 1920s. The Great Depression put many people out of work, especially Black Americans, who saw even more racial discrimination during this time period, with nearly half of the Black population being unemployed. Then, the Dust Bowl, a literal drought that hit the central states of America, forced many agricultural workers, including Black farmers, to Western states for work. There are still Black gay icons who made notable contributions to history and culture in this time period. There was much more appreciation of Black gay artists in the 1920s, but a new conservatism called the Hays Code, which became the rule of law in Hollywood in 1934, made sure movies had no profanity, sexuality, or sexual persuasion, i.e. anything gay. This artistic repression likely had an effect on the Black gay artists of the time, but there were still popular Black gay artists expressing themselves and pushing cultural boundaries in the 1930s. Here are 5 Black artists who were making notable art during this decade. Richmond Barth. Richmond Barth was an incredibly iconic Black American historical figure who is considered one of the most notable sculptors and painters to come from the Harlem Renaissance. Though most people think of the Harlem Renaissance as a time during the 1920s, Barth came to national and eventually international acclaim throughout the 1930s for his astounding work in sculpting. Though born and raised in Mississippi, Barth would hone his craft in Chicago before moving to New York in the 1930s, where he would be lauded for his sculpting work of mostly beautiful Black male figures. During the 1930s, Barth's notable work was creating sculpted busts like the Blackberry Woman and a bust of Black gay model Farrell Benga in 1935. Billy Banks. Billy Banks was a popular entertainer, singer, and actor who was a notable female impersonator and comedian who worked his impersonation of ladies into his music. In 1932, he would record music with a mostly Black band, the Rhythm Makers, but many people assumed the high-pitched vocals were coming from popular women singers of the time. One of Banks' most interesting and flirtatious songs, in my opinion, is "Oh Peter," a song recorded in and released in 1932, where Banks openly celebrates his affections for a man named Peter, also coincidentally a nickname for a man's privates. Claude McKay. Claude McKay was an acclaimed Jamaican author and another noteworthy gay icon from the Harlem Renaissance. While traveling the world frequently and living in America and England, McKay's notable works during the 1930s was Banana Bottom, a fictional novel about a Jamaican girl sent to England to work for British evangelicals. And in 1937, he would release his autobiography, A Long Way From Home, while traveling through North Africa, particularly Morocco. Though McKay is a noted historical figure in Jamaica, being named the national poet in 1977, his gay or bisexual life, history, and relationships are often forgotten in his home country. Count T. Cullen. Count T. Cullen was a popular poet and author who ran in prestigious circles in African American society during the 1920s and 30s. After divorcing his high society wife in the 1930s, after a few months of marriage, when he confessed his love for men to her in a letter, Cullen would continue to write, publishing his first novel in 1932, One Way to Heaven, a social commentary on Black American class and high society in New York. While releasing several collections of poetry in the 1930s, including collections called Any Human to Another and The Medea, he would also come to terms with his attraction to men by the mentorship of another acclaimed Black gay writer and scholar, Alain Locke. Koko Arnold. Koko Arnold was an African-American blues singer from Lovejoy Station, Georgia, who was noted as creating one of the most openly queer blues songs from a man during the golden age of blues music. Though many women blues singers like Gladys Bentley, Bessie Smith, and Ma Rainey are noted as gay blues icons of the times, Koko Arnold's 1934 song, Sissy Man Blues, is one of the most blatant songs about bisexuality to come from his time in music. Though little is known about Koko Arnold's relationships outside of his most notable song, the lyrics clearly describe Arnold being aroused and desiring intimacy with a woman or a man. The lyrics state, "And I woke up this morning with pork grinding business in my hand. Lord, if you can't send me no woman, please send me some sissy man."